I'm making this video for my book club because they want to know what my top books were this year. I have read 94 books in 2025 so far. I might hit 95, we'll see. But out of all of them, I've gotten 9, I think this is 9, 5-star reads. And I'm going to go over them with you. 7, 8, 9. I've counted, there's 9. And I'm gonna kind of go over them in the order that I read them. Girl, come here. So these are not in order of like best to worst or worst to best. This is just my 5-star reads of the year, okay? First is first. Perfume by Süskind. This book is so good. I've had it in a review before and I've talked about it before, but this book is about a baby that was born in France in the 18th century in like the slums of Paris. He's born with this ability to smell things like no one else in the world can smell. His sense of smell is just so powerful, and it makes people really uncomfortable because he can like tell things about you just based off of how you smell, like what you've eaten, if you've got money on you. So much stuff. It's very weird. Like the subtitle says like the story of a murderer. And so like, you know, when I was like this far into the book, I was like, oh, when's the murder happen? There is a murder that happens around this like point, like this far in, right? And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that was it. But no, huge twist. There's a lot more stuff that murder leads to than you would ever imagine. This book is a whirlwind. I've never read something that takes you on a story through the sense of smell quite like this does. I mean, I've read so many books where they call for you to imagine some like imagery of like a town or a place or whatever, but this does it strictly through smell, and it is so good. It also makes you want to like question a little bit your feelings and sympathy towards people and their motivations. Like sometimes a person can act so selfishly without even realizing that they're being selfish because they are just so focused on their mission and trying to succeed for whatever reason that you ask yourself, like, at what point do I start considering this person a bad person? If there's no bad intention, can it be bad? So the story of this kid is that he is on a mission to become the best perfumer in the entire world, and he finds himself trying to apprentice under a bunch of really successful people who have become perfumers, and the lessons that he learns from them are really cool, but then what happens when he tries to overtake that position is just so interesting. There's moral dilemma, there's excitement, there's obsession. It's just, overall, the story is really weird and incredibly good. And yeah, 5 stars, couldn't recommend it more. Next up, we have Erasure by Percival Everett. A lot of people know Percival Everett because he just came out with the book called James, which was a Huckleberry Finn retelling. That book was also really good, but I wanted to read more by him, so I picked up Erasure. And Erasure is a book inside of a book. It's really interesting. You have this character who is a really successful Black author who has kind of hit a slump in his publishing. Like he's just not getting his book picked up by people. And he thinks it's such a good idea, but other people just aren't interested. But what he sees is that there's this other person who's getting really popular and getting amazing sales because they wrote slop. I mean, the book is trash. It's really bad. And he's so aggravated by that he decides that he's going to write his own piece of like slop. And he doesn't think it's good. Writes it and people are obsessed with it. They love it. And then he is just flabbergasted by it. But what's really cool is that while you have that happening and you have this main character who goes by Monk writing this horrible story like that he really does not like, you also get to read that story in here and see how people are responding to it. So you're switching back and forth between layers of story, and it's just really well done. A lot of people, I think, would have a hard time writing something in this format because it might get confusing, but honestly, he kept this together really well. I bought a thrifted version of this book. Like a lot of my books I get off of like thriftbooks.com. So this was literally $1.99. Like, hell yeah. The format is interesting. Like, you've got text like this. These are highlights from the previous owner, which I actually really like. You've got stuff like that. You've got stuff like a normal novel, but then you've also got formats of script that looks like this. And I appreciate when a book has different formats of text. It just makes it feel like, you know, you're getting through it. You're going, I don't know. It's cool. This was a fun read. It was disturbing. It touches on class and race. And Percival Everett, oh, it says it was a finalist for the Pulitzer Prize. I don't doubt it. This was amazing. Percival Everett has become a go-to author for me. I intend to read everything he puts out. So, Erasure. Monstrio. Okay, this book is super weird. This is about a woman named Magos who loses her son. And what she ends up doing is she literally cuts out a piece of his lung, nurtures it like a mother would. And this piece of lung develops into something that she did not expect for herself. This book is about grief and loss and holding on to things that are no longer around, and what that can do to you as a person, what it can do to your relationships, the people that care about you when you are stuck in grief, and about letting go overall. A super bizarre book. I believe it was translated. So far, we've had a book from Paris. We've had an incredible Black author. This author is from Mexico City, Mexico. And so far we've got a pretty diverse list, which is pretty cool. Super strange, super good, a little bit violent, very interesting conceptually. The next one is called No One Is Talking About This by Patricia Lockwood. And this is such a strange book. I love it. It's divided up into two parts, kind of. It's a little bit segmented, but it is so interesting. The main character of this book is like chronically online. So if you don't know like internet speak or like have an up-to-date knowledge of like meme culture and stuff, this might read a little weird to you, because the first part of this book is a surreal like stream of consciousness just being online and what it's like to like be an influencer. Like, this girl is an influencer. It's super strange. But then one day she gets a text from her mom and something has happened in the family, and it kind of pulls her back into the real world. And it is so interesting how this like chronically online person navigates the real world and tragedy and fear and loss and sadness and heavy emotion, all while still having access to like an abundant amount of information online. The first part of this book, like having it be so internet feeling, is really cool because it kind of mimics the idea of scrolling through posts online. Just, it's so fragmented and strange, and like this is how it's like kind of written in the beginning, and it just feels like you're scrolling through someone's feed. The writing is so good. I believe this author a poet, and that definitely comes across in the prose. I think this is just so well done and so cool. This book may make you cry at a certain point, and honestly that just makes for a good book. It was shortlisted for the 2021 Booker Prize, and it is fantastic. So check this one out. Next, we have This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno, and oh my God, this book is so uncomfortable. This book also explores grief, but it is like scary kind of and surreal, and it freaked me out. Like, oh, that's very pretty. I think it takes a lot for an author to write something in a way that's so realistic in the beginning of the book and then kind of devolves into this strange world where you're not sure whether or not this is really happening, like the events that unfold in this book are really happening, or if it is the character kind of slowly losing their mind and suffering like hallucinations and delusions. And this book does that so well. As you go through it, you really have no idea what's true and what's not, because you kind of have an unreliable narrator, which can be really weird, but it also can be done really well, and I think it was done really well in this one. It also explores like a weird relationship with technology. In the beginning of this book, there is a couple that is living together, and they have a device called an Itza, which is really similar to an Alexa, I guess, from Amazon. The Itza is like making strange decisions for this couple in their new home, and something crazy happens. Tragedy strikes and everything unfolds from there. And at that point, you really don't know who's responsible for the tragedy. Is the Itza doing all of this? Are we being watched at all times? By what? By who? This book is such a weird adventure. I just had such a good time with it. I read it when I was like going to bed every night, and honestly, it kept me up sometimes because it just freaked me out. Certain parts of this really freaked me out, and books don't usually scare me. This is a really well done, like almost like horror genre, and it was also really funny at parts. So there you have it. Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. This book is absurdly good and poignant, and oh my god, it's just fantastic. This book is about two sisters. This is not spoiling. You can find this out on the back of the book, honestly. Well, they're half sisters. They're born in different villages in Ghana. They end up leading very different lives. One of them ends up marrying a white man, and one of them ends up being sold into slavery. And this book is about their stories, and it follows several generations down of their descendants. The back of this book says, Homegoing follows the parallel paths of these sisters and their descendants through 8 generations, from the Gold Coast to the plantations of Mississippi, from the American Civil War to Jazz Age Harlem. Yaa Gyasi's extraordinary novel illuminates slavery's troubled legacy, both for those who were taken and those who stayed, and shows how the memory of captivity has been inscribed on the soul of our nation. It's fantastic. This is so worth the read. I can't say enough about it. It comes in several parts, obviously, because, you know, you have different time periods and everything, but this was devastating. Definitely worth your time. Next, I have The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. This book is a fatty. She's thick, and honestly, it doesn't feel like that when you're reading it. This book is really well paced, and there's a lot that happens, but essentially, this book is about a poor family. It's a mom, a dad, and a daughter. And the dad has PTSD from fighting in a war. He decides that one of the best things he can do for his family is move them out to the Alaskan bush, which is notoriously a difficult place to survive. They get out there, they have a cabin and nothing else, no electricity, nothing. But the very, very small, I don't even want to call it a town that they live in, because there's like one store downtown. I mean, it's really like nothing. It's a small community of people that live in the boonies of this part of Alaska. But they are such a tight-knit community because they have to be, because Alaskan winters are insufferable and very difficult to survive. So this small community kind of embraces this family to the best of their ability. However, it is difficult because the dad is not a good person. He's also mentally ill. Our main character of the book is the daughter, and her experiences having a father who is trying really hard but is also mentally ill, which leads to some amount of abuse, to be honest, and a mother who has a beautiful soul but is not strong enough to leave a bad situation. And where that leaves this girl as she enters puberty. So sad. It made me cry, absolutely, because just reflecting on the relationship between mothers and daughters, and mothers and fathers, and daughters and fathers, and it's so hard. And you really form a soft spot in your heart for certain members of this small community that are trying so hard despite how difficult it is to be there for people that don't show up for themselves. It also gave a lot of perspective, though, about what it's like to live in a place like this and how much of your time has to be dedicated to preparing for harsh seasons. You really don't have a lot of free time to do leisurely things. When the weather's good, you're preparing for when it's bad. I just thought it was really cool. This was definitely a good book. Another thick one and another really good story. This is Lonesome Dove by Larry McCurdy. This is a Western, and I'm not a big Western guy, but I really liked this story. It's the winner of the Pulitzer Prize, and I don't even know where to start. This book takes place in the West a long time ago. You have two ex-military, high-ranking military folks. Their names are Call and Gus. They are very different people. They are bonded by their experience serving their country. And by serving their country, I do mean the unaliving of a lot of brown people. Just a heads up. That was the time. They get this idea that they are going to take their very small group of workers that live on this dying ranch in Texas and move everybody up to Montana. And so they accumulate a lot of cattle in this really adventurous and exciting way, and they end up heading north. The story of them getting through the terrain at this time, all the different towns, all of the things that they have to go through is really entertaining and really good. They have a woman that they decide to take. She was the town lady of the night where they were from in Lonesome Dove, and she has decided that she wants to go with them, but she wants to stop off in California along the way. She wants to be taken to California. Whether or not that happens is a spoiler that I'm not going to give away. A lot of drama in this, and a lot of exploration of just the human condition. There's good people, there's bad people, there's love, there's hate, there's violence, there's tenderness. I mean, there are lovable characters and there's characters that you hate. There's people that don't make it and there's people that do. Honestly, it was just an interesting look at what it was like to be a really specific type of person in the West at this time when people were still expanding, colonizing the West of the United States. I mean, here's the thing. This book is fiction, but the whole thing feels true. It feels like this is a history book. It feels like you are genuinely following a written manuscript of a group of people's like real history. And that was really interesting. Last but not least, and maybe my favorite book of 2025. This is Stone Butch Blues by Leslie Feinberg. These blue tabs are every single time I teared up or cried. That is a feat, and that is insane. The writing in this is incredible. So here's the thing about Stone Butch Blues, said to be fiction, but it is wild how much this book and the events of this book mimic the life of the author. This book is about a self-proclaimed butch lesbian in New York in the 1960s. This is before the term non-binary existed. This is before gay people were allowed to legally be married or express themselves publicly. Along the backdrop of the Vietnam War and the Civil Rights Movement, this is all happening in conjunction at the same time. There is no other word but devastating. I'm gonna tell you though, I kind of got scammed a little bit here. Leslie Feinberg, the author of this book, said and had this like in the rights in the contract, no one can sell this for a profit. You are only allowed to sell this book at cost, like what it takes to actually print and make this book. And you can get those copies on the website, lesliefeinberg.net, by the way, which I did not know at the time when I purchased this book. I got this off of thriftbooks.com and someone was selling it for 50 bucks. They were literally just getting this off her website for like $10 and then selling it for more. It made me so upset to find that out, because the whole point was that this was supposed to be accessible. It just, whatever. So now you know, if you do decide to get this book, get it at cost from her website. Leslie Feinberg is no longer with us, but she is a feminist icon and such a spearhead for the trans community. I really can't say enough. It just follows her, this character, and it's just like, oh my God. It hurts. It hurts to read it. It hurts to think about. I could literally cry right now thinking about it. I just read a couple of the tabs that I have. Definitely check the trigger warnings for this book before you pick it up, because it is rough. It is rough, but I couldn't recommend it more. If any of them, this one. If any of them, this one. So these are my 9 5-star reads of the year, and I hope that you read any one of them. I think that they are all really good. They're fantastic. They're heavy. I think that honestly, if you read any of them, you'll get a lot out of them. So that is that. I think I'm going to try to do a video about all 94 so far books that I have finished this year. I'm not going to do like a full review for every single one of them, but I'm going to do like rankings and just kind of put them in there, because honestly, these are my 5 stars, but I had a lot of 4 stars too. I also had some really awful books that I could not stand and hated. And I like sharing that kind of stuff with you guys. The 4-star books that I have, like, they're also fantastic. Like, they're really good books. They just didn't like stab me in the heart the same way that, you know, some of these did. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in more book content, please subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a beautiful 2026, and let me know in the comments what some of your favorite books are from this year, because I want to start out my 2026 TBR pretty strong. See you in the next one.